Hello, my name's Chris. I am the person that runs all of this stuff. You may have saw a video earlier or previously about dandelions. Dandelions are considered a superfood. I don't really like to use the term superfood personally. All foods are super. All foods have their benefits. And dandelions is just one that's kind of your first early forageable kind of wild food. There's usually plenty of dandelions everywhere. You usually can find them pretty easily. Now, before I go any deeper about them, I want to just say a few things. One, make sure that wherever you're picking your dandelions, there hasn't been any sprays. So whether it's a herbicide, fungicide, pesticide, make sure there isn't any sprays. Make sure it isn't a place where dogs have peed or in a place that's really near traffic. All those areas aren't necessarily greatest for you, and they can introduce toxins into your system, which I don't think anybody really wants. So what makes dandelions so amazing? Well, the whole plant is edible. Now, of course, before you pick anything, make sure that you are 110% sure that it is the plant that you mean to pick. Even though dandelions have lots of relatives and similar plants that are non-toxic, it's better to know. So if you're unsure, just leave the plant, let it be, do some more research, and then come back to it later. It's better to be 110% sure than to end up in a hospital. So anyway, back to the dandelion. It has beautiful long tape roots. These are actually quite small. This plant is relatively young, but it actually makes really good eating. So this whole root here you could eat. You would eat a carrot, or you can heat it up, or not heat it up, but roast it and use it as a coffee substitute. It's very tasty. And some people even take the root, roast it, and then process it into a syrup. So sugar, water, boil it down into a nice thick syrup, and then use it to bake with, and it's quite delicious. And these long tape roots go deep into the soil, so that means that they are picking up all of the nutrients that you could ask for. And so that's why it makes it very nutrient dense. That's why carrots and beets and turnips and all those kind of root plants are super yummy for you. Now, what other parts of the plant can be eaten? So we've talked about the root, and then we're going to talk about leaves. So all the leaves can be eaten. They're kind of like a spicy arugula. Now these leaves are a bit older, which means that they're going to be a bit bitter. So what I like to do with these kind of leaves is I kind of go down the stem here to where it kind of changes color. Just kind of snip that off like that. And then I'll make sure I wash this really well. And you can devein them if you like. I don't really bother, but you can. And then for something like this, which is going to be a bit bitter, what I'll do is I'll cook it with butter or your favorite oil, butter, salt, and some garlic, and then I'll toss it into whatever else I'm eating. It's great with rice or stir fries, whatever you like. So what you're looking for, let me see if I can find one. Here we go. So you can see this is a much younger leaf. You can even get them smaller. They'll grow in like little small clusters like this. And so you want young, small, tender leaves. And these ones are great for adding to sandwiches or salads or whatever you like. And they'll be kind of spicy like arugula with a little bit of a bitter taste to them. But I really don't mind the bitterness, and bitterness is really good for your body as well. Example of a flower that hasn't fully opened, and it's going to be very sweet and very lovely. It doesn't have quite as intense smell as a fully open flower like this one. This one is so floral, and it will have a bit of a bitter taste to it, but most of the bitterness comes from the bracts on the back here. And so before you use them, you can actually remove the bracts. I'll see if I can do this here. So remove the stem here, so that you're just getting the flowers and all the little pollen inside. So you have that. Oh my goodness, it's so good. It's very sweet. It's kind of grainy because of the pollen, but it's got such a sweet kind of nutty flavor to it, almost kind of honey-like, but it's so tasty. And so these are great for baking. You can also take these and turn them into mead. Of course, you want to remove this again and just use the flower petals, or into a dandelion wine as well. Come on, bub, out. And they're super tasty and super yummy. And also you can use them as baking or for decorations, whatever you like, basically. They're really tasty and they're really wonderful little addition to salads or pastries or, you know, stir fries on top, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to eat some more now. Yeah, they're so yummy. Like, really, this is really good. It's like a little sweet snack. Yeah, so that's all the different things you can do with dandelions. Oh, also, So this is an immature bud that hasn't opened. And if you take all that off there, like that, and then pop that off, you can actually brine these or pickle them as capers, and they make really tasty little capers. So if you find them first thing, you can gather a bunch of buds and have them as little tasty capers. I'm not sure what they taste like raw. Very bitter, very earthy, but still really good. So that's all the different things you can do with dandelions. Now, how do you identify dandelions so that you can make sure that you are harvesting a dandelion? One, this long tapered root, that's a good sign. The buds, you can see here, start very low to the ground. They're not up high and then bloom, they're low and then they grow out. They have big, fluffy, feather-like flowers. And the easiest way to identify them is, of course, the leaf. The leaf is very toothy and saw-like. You can see that right there. And it's not fuzzy at all. One of the lookalikes is called cat's paw, and it has a very fuzzy kind of fuzzy leaf surface, whereas these ones are glossy and very matte looking. So yeah, that's all about dandelions. They're really such a lovely, tasty food to find, and they're usually very plentiful. As always, you know, make sure you're not over harvesting. That's super important, because over harvesting means you won't be able to have them next year. So I always just pick a couple of clumps and have them as I go. Or if you aren't going to use the root, you can just pick some leaves and flowers as you go, and then they'll continue to grow. And it's a consistent food source. But yeah, that's all about dandelions. I hope you enjoyed. You can follow me on Instagram at Chris on the Farm. I have a Ko-fi as well, so you can follow me on all those places, or subscribe, and there will be more videos to come.